If you want to earn passive income through real estate investing, you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to discuss 11 strategies for generating passive income through real estate that actually work. They include classic examples, such as residential rental properties, as well as more exotic examples like triple net leases, note investing, and real estate syndication. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Number 1. Local rental property investing. Perhaps the best-known strategy for generating passive income through real estate is investing in single-family rental properties in your area. If you buy in the right neighborhood and screen your tenants well, you can structure your rental properties to generate passive income. The key is to buy a property that doesn't have a ton of deferred maintenance and to select tenants that will take good care of your property. The fewer calls you get, the more passive your investment will be. You will also want to put together a team of techs, like a handyman, plumber, electrician, and HVAC and appliance techs that you trust. They will be able to handle any repairs or maintenance requests that come up, so you don't have to. I own 9 rentals and almost never visit them anymore because every time I get a call about something from a tenant, I just call the right tech and they take care of it at a fair price. If you really want to make your investment as passive as possible, find a great property manager. You will need to pay anywhere between 8 to 10% of the rent to them, but they will basically handle everything, from repairs and maintenance, to filling vacancies, and even evicting when necessary. If you want to learn more about how to get started investing in rental properties, check out my step-by-step guide on this topic, which I have linked below. I also have included links to my articles on nearly all of the strategies I cover, so explore them if you want to learn more. Number 2. Turnkey out-of-state rentals. Some states have properties that generate far better cash flow than other states. For example, California has very high property values. That makes investing for cash flow very difficult. So a lot of California real estate investors look elsewhere to find high cash-flowing rentals. These locations evolve over time as demographics change, but generally they are in areas that have a lower cost of living and lower property values. Companies have flocked to these locations and bought up properties that will cash flow. They package these deals to investors who are looking for turnkey out-of-state rentals. These companies usually buy these properties very cheaply, renovate them, find tenants, and then hire a property manager to manage the properties. The companies are happy because they make money by selling these properties to investors for a profit. The investors are happy because they are getting a low-priced property that generates cash flow each month. But there are risks. Some of these companies don't do what they say. They may buy a terrible property in a terrible neighborhood and just slap on some paint and rent it out to awful tenants who will trash your place. Plus, some may overcharge you for the property because you may not know the local market values very well. In short, you need to work with a company that has a proven and long-standing reputation. Even then, you should do your own due diligence to ensure you are not getting taken. Fly out to the property and inspect it yourself or hire a trusted service to do so for you. Make sure you know what you are getting into. Number 3. Vacation rentals. This option has been gaining more and more popularity with the emergence of Airbnb and Vrbo. Investors can buy properties in destination cities or locations and rent them out to tourists for a very nice profit. You can use the platforms I mentioned above to do this pretty easily. But if you want to make it passive, you will need to hire a property management company to take care of the property, including handling turns whenever a renter moves out. If you are enjoying this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps a ton and really motivates me to create better and better videos. Thanks. Number 4. Apartments. Apartment investing is the holy grail of real estate investing for many investors. The premise is simple: buy an apartment with positive cash flow and collect checks. If you buy the right apartment, you can enjoy huge economies of scale and potentially life-changing cash flow. The reason why apartments are great vehicles for passive income is that they are usually large enough to support a full-time on-site property manager. This basically eliminates the day-to-day headaches associated with managing that many tenants. But apartments come with drawbacks too. If the neighborhood declines, your entire investment is affected, as opposed to individual houses which may be scattered across different neighborhoods. You are also usually dealing with lower-income tenants and could experience higher rates of non-payment and vacancy. Finally, they are expensive and financing can be a challenge. It's why they are usually for more advanced investors. Number 5. Commercial properties. Apartments are a form of commercial property, but there are other kinds as well, like office buildings, strip malls, and any other real estate that caters to business tenants. Similar to apartments, you can hire someone to manage the property because the rents generated by the property should be enough to cover the costs of the property manager. So from a passivity perspective, commercial properties are pretty good. And the lease terms are usually pretty long, so you can enjoy uninterrupted cash flow for years. But they have their cons too. Vacancies can be disastrous. In an apartment, if a tenant leaves, it's not too hard to replace that tenant. If nothing else, you can reduce the rent and fill it pretty quickly. But if you own a commercial property that has lost an anchor tenant, it can be years before you find a replacement. Plus, the initial costs to buy one can be really high. In short, this type of investing is not for beginners. Number 6. Triple net properties. A form of commercial property that I really like is triple net properties. These are properties that are rented to commercial tenants, but the lease is a triple net lease, which means the tenant typically covers everything. This includes repairs, maintenance, insurance, and even taxes. Because the tenant pays for everything, you don't get calls from them to fix this or pay for that. It's so passive it almost operates like a bond. You just get your rent check each month, period. To top it off, you usually have very long rental terms, which can be 20 years or longer. You also usually get rent escalators every few years, so your rent automatically increases over time. You usually see large pharmacy chains and fast food restaurants operating under triple net arrangements, although triple nets are not limited to just these types of tenants. On the downside, these types of properties can be expensive. And if the tenant goes under, you could be facing a long vacancy. Number 7. Real estate syndication. Another passive income strategy that can generate some great passive income is real estate syndication. This is when an investor, who is sometimes called a general partner or sponsor, finds a real estate deal and asks other investors to put in money to help them purchase the investment. They then split the profits. You will usually invest as a limited partner, which means you are a passive investor and just collect money. The general partner is the one who is responsible for sourcing the deal, completing the project, and managing it once complete. Apart from its passivity, you can make some great returns if your sponsor is skilled at finding deals and managing the property. But of course, there are risks. The investment can go south or you could become the victim of fraud. You need to carefully investigate both the deal plus the sponsor to make sure you are investing wisely. Number 8. Real estate crowdfunding. Real estate crowdfunding is the newfangled cousin of real estate syndication and has become a popular way for people to invest in real estate without directly owning or managing the underlying properties. It is a method used by companies to raise money for real estate investments from a broad range of investors. These companies typically operate online platforms where investors can review real estate investment options. If the investor finds something that they like, they can invest in it. Returns can be handsome and in some cases well in excess of 10%. The downside to this strategy is that many real estate crowdfunding platforms have steep minimum investment amounts and often require that you are an accredited investor, which is basically someone who is a millionaire or very high earner. The fund with the lowest minimum investments that I found were Fundrise and Diversity Fund. Neither require you to be an accredited investor, and I have included links to them below. Number 9. REITs. REITs are in many ways the predecessor to real estate crowdfunding. They typically invest in cash-flowing real estate and pay out most of their earnings in the form of dividends to their investors. You can usually just buy them through your stock brokerage account. It doesn't get more passive than that. As with any securities investments, the pros are that you can make pretty good money without any ongoing work or involvement, and you don't need a ton of money to get started. The downside is that you have no control over your investment and can lose money if the underlying properties are poorly selected or managed, or if the economy turns bad and corporate tenants start defaulting. Number 10. Unmanned self-storage facilities. If you want to invest in real estate that produces passive income, but don't want to deal with tenants and toilets, owning an unmanned self-storage facility can be the perfect solution. With the advance of technology, you can have renters book their storage units online, key in their access code, and move in their stuff, all without you being there. It's a cool business model and one that can be really profitable. Some things to be careful about are buying in an area that doesn't have high crime and taking precautions to protect the tenant's possessions from theft. Number 11. Mortgage note investing. This is a slightly different take on real estate investing, but can be a great way to make passive income. Instead of buying properties, you can buy the underlying mortgages on those properties. In many cases, you can buy these notes at a discount, which can really boost your returns. Another nice thing about note investing is that there is no property maintenance or any sort of tenant-related issues. You are dealing with an owner, not a tenant. The biggest con of this strategy is that you have the risk of non-payment. If that happens, you will have to begin foreclosure proceedings, which can be a real pain. If you want to start exploring note investing, check out PaperStack. They are an online marketplace for buying and selling notes. Definitely worth exploring if you want to get a sense of what these notes look like. So there you have it, 11 examples of passive real estate investing strategies that work. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. It helps a ton and I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.